Hey everybody, it's Christine with Zeidman Development, and today I'm excited to explain to you the new export option available in Importacular 5.0. So if you've been using Importacular for a while, or maybe even if you haven't been using it that long, you may have noticed with the latest update that we now have an option to select an import source or to select an export destination. Now the import source is Importacular, as you've known and loved it for quite some time now. And you can still use everything there just as you always did. We've made a few other updates along the way there, and I hope that those have all been helpful for you. But today I really want to focus on that export destination. So what the export destination allows our Salsa Engage customers to do is to use a Razor's Edge query and map that data directly into Salsa Engage so that they can make updates to both systems. So Importacular lets them import into Razor's Edge. This export destination within Importacular lets them export out of Razor's Edge and update supporters in Salsa Engage. We would absolutely love to see this offered for more third-party partners. So if you have a third-party partner you'd like to see here, please let our team know. Please let your support rep at that organization or at that company know, and we hope to see that there very soon. But in the meantime, I do want to show you a little bit of what's available with this tool. Now, this will be dependent on your tool, so what you can see here today is a little bit more connected to our Salsa users, but it can give you an idea of what you might see for yours. So we're going to click on Start, just like we did with importing. And at this point, we would either select a template that already exists, or we're going to create a new template. So today, I'm just going to create a new template. I'm going to give it a quick name. So match my template to my export that I have. Now on this screen, I'm going to go ahead and click on those binoculars, and it's going to allow me to search my exports in Razor's Edge. I'm going to go ahead and use today's date. And we're going to click search, add that export. Now, keep in mind with that export, the output fields that you have available to you have to be selected in your export. And that will make a difference here in just a second. So with this, we have the option to map to these different areas. Just like with Importacular importing, we always have to create that supporter first. So I'm just going to go ahead and click there. I'm going to name it supporter. And then we would be able to add these fields based off of what we have in our output. So when you click here, you can see a drop down showing your output of fields. Now, I know these names are a little bit cumbersome to look at, so as always, if you are familiar with how to rename fields in export in Razor's Edge, you can always do that. I'm going to go ahead and just map a couple things. So my external system ID, I'm going to use my constituent ID. Always a good practice when working with this tool. I'm going to add a first name, and I'm going to add a last name. I can also add gender if I want to, depending on what I have set up. I can add a middle name if I have that. I can add a suffix, and I can add a title here as well. So let me just go ahead and plug those in for you. And then we're going to save that, and that's going to unlock our mapping. So we could also add an address, just so you see what that looks like. There's our address. I'm going to just close that for right now. We can add contact, so we can make sure we get those email addresses. So let's go ahead and map that email address from our data. I'm going to go ahead and name this. And then we can also add our custom fields. So if you've got custom fields like for a nickname, we can map that default value to say that this is a special mail code, this is a graduation class of. If we had a nickname, we could do that as well. Any field names that you have show up here in the default value. Let's go ahead and do that mail code, and then we would pick whatever field worked for that in our system. So gives us the option. If it's something that needs to have a default, we could do that as well. So I hope you find this helpful and that it gives you some ideas of how you could use export from Importacular. Thank you so much for joining me, and have a great day.